Hi, what's going on? I talk a lot on LinkedIn about different plays, outbound plays, different things you can do to, improve the types of targeting that you can do, what you say to folks, etc. And I don't often talk about actual examples of plays that I really have run. Now, this is helpful for you because you get an understanding about how I work. It's helpful for my customers, my potential customers too, because they can see the types of plays that we will be able to run in engagement. So today what we're going to do is we're going to run through actual plays that I have run and talk to you about the targeting specifically and how, if you do the targeting right, the messaging comes for free. Now, the gist here is that the way that most companies target is they first target by companies, 50 to 100 employees in the United States that have raised blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't really give you anything to say to those people. And generally, if you try to find things to say, they only have one or two of the attributes that really identify pain. My process is the inverse, which is how do you find companies that have problems and then you can message about those problems. So instead of starting with the company, you start with structure the world by problems and then find the companies that have those problems and you get the messaging for free. So we're going to go through actual examples of plays that I've run here, and this will be useful to you and useful to the folks that I chat with considering hiring me. All right, let's dive in. So we are looking at 6 different plays today, and I'm going to walk you through each of them. I'm going to try to be quick here and keep this under 10 minutes. So the first play here, what we did is we pulled all the companies in this customer's TAM, total addressable market. And then what I did is I pointed Google at every single one of their pages, of their websites, and I said, find me the diversity, equity, and inclusion report. So I'm looking for the link that talks about diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? Generally, this is a PDF. You can see actually Google is pretty good at this. So that's helpful. So did Google, and we ran a handful of these different queries, Google queries. Do they have an environmentally social governance report? Do they have an impact report that mentions women? Do they have an impact report? How many links did Google find? And then then I basically mapped that URL, right? Well, that wasn't it. What we did is we worked with a company to extract the pieces from this page that talked about the percentage of basically the words women and percentage were close together, right? And what we were trying to do is how can we identify companies that are investing in helping women get promoted at their job, which is what this customer does, but they aren't making the kind of progress that shows that they are actually committed to this goal or they're really not hitting the goals that they wanted. So once we found the PDFs, then we extracted different inputs from those PDFs. And what we looked for is we looked for dates, we looked for the company name, we looked for the word woman and percentage close to women. So it turns out that a tool like GPT-3 is really good at writing data sets if you can both train it and give it a very small snippet to go on. So that's what we did. We pulled out the snippets, and then what we did is we had a human write 5 of them based on this snippet, and GPT-3 wrote the rest. So we're concerned to see the reputation of women in executive positions decrease by approximately 6%. We hope that is not indicative of a trend, but rather an anomaly that will be corrected in the coming years. Oh, sick burn. This is like a sentence that AI wrote. And you can see like it's not all perfect, but this is like there's room for improvement. So then what we did is we swept all the sentences of the person, and then we could actually message about pain at scale because we know these are the folks that are talking about women that have a diversity, equity, and inclusion report, and they're not achieving their goals, and we could programmatically message them. So that's an example of a type of campaign that we could run. Oh, I love this campaign. So what we did is this is a marketplace. And on one side of the marketplace, they have case studies, right? Here are all of the other people that on this side of the marketplace that they've worked for. So let's say there are 100 people that these clients have that they have a relationship with. Well, those 100 people, they've worked with 5, 10, 15 different domains. So what we did is we structured all of those domains. So we took some unstructured text, used AI to pull out the domains from that unstructured text. Then we took those domains and we figured out which of them have open positions for, in this case, we were looking at assistants because this company helps hire, they have a program to help hire assistants. And then we could send a message to the person that's in the network and say, hey, Jordan, it looks like in the past you've worked with GE, HP, and Hilton. They have an open job that we can fill for them. Do you still have a good relationship with them? And by the way, if you do, we'll pay you 10% of their lifetime earnings, forever of what they pay us. So now I can actually send a relevant intro email about a problem that someone that they have a relationship with has. And all they have to do is say yes, and then I can send that email that they can forward. I'm really excited about that one. Oh, this was crazy. So in this case, I use Google to run a search here that I wanted to find people that have experience with Zapier. And so I said, give me LinkedIn/in. So I'm only looking at profiles with the words Zapier or Airtable mentioned, right? And so you can say other skills, Zapier, Monday, right? So then I pulled out that snippet from Google. So now I was able to basically run a search against LinkedIn about people that have Zapier in their skill set. So I can deliver a message about, hey, it seems like you implement Zapier systems. In this case, this is a company that does reliability for Zapier, Airtable, and Make. And so we can actually speak to, it seems like you're building on these tools. How are you thinking about documentation on them? Wow. Okay. This play was wild. So what we did here is we were looking at, let's see. Sorry, I gotta remind myself of this play here. We were looking. Oh, apologies. Oh, yeah. So I know what we did. This is great. Sorry, apologies. So what we did is we scraped Zapier, and Zapier is very famous for creating a high-scaled website where they just launched a bunch of pages, and that's how they got to 100 million plus in GMV. So what we did is we scraped Zapier and we pulled all of the pages that Zapier has created for their partners. So Zapier creates pages like Salesforce and QuickBooks, Salesforce and HubSpot, Salesforce and Marketo, and they spin up all those pages. So we scraped all those pages, and then we could go to the Salesforce, go to the HubSpots of the world, and say, Zapier is making money off of you by hijacking traffic for Zapier integrations. What if instead of Zapier taking your traffic, you could automatically recreate those pages on your site and compete for that authority that Zapier has used on your name, right? So by scraping Zapier's site, we actually could talk about the number of pages that they've created. We can talk about the traffic to those pages, and we could talk about the value of that traffic. So we could say Zapier alone gets 5,648 hits just for pages that mention HubSpot. I can instantly create these pages on your site, HubSpot. Why are you letting Zapier steal all your traffic? Boy, this is like probably one of the craziest plays I ever ran. So what we were looking for is, this is a company that helps you test customer support software and a variety of other tools. And it turns out we did some analysis on like 30,000 companies, and the first date that their software was detected with built with, and then we went back in time to look at the headcount at that date. So it's like, okay, when do you install your first support software? So we found out that it was a lot younger than we thought. So companies between 10 and 30 employees. Then we got the total number of headcount in support. So we knew what ratio of people support to total headcount that they had. So we know how heavy they were on support. Then what we did is we went out and scanned the website live to say, are they using any detectable support tool? So that we could actually send them a message like, hey, Jordan, you're getting to be about that stage where you need a support tool. You do have at least one person in support, so I know you care about support. I could talk about the ratio of the number of people in support, but I couldn't detect any tool. Did you know that a support tool like X is generally where companies like you start? And here's why they usually start with that tool. Would you like to test out this tool or other tools for free on my software? Oh, that was a good one. Oh, I'm so proud of this play. So I have jobs data, so I'm scraping jobs, so I know when companies are hiring. So what we did is we looked at companies that have a that mention budget or reimbursement. So who has like a leadership, a development budget, a stipend, a training, right? Wow. Okay, so now we have an understanding that they will pay you to learn, and then we actually were able to extract out the dollar amount that they said here. So now I know who is hired recently. I know that they offer a learning and development reimbursement. And then what we did is we found the people that joined in the last 2 months. So I could say a message like, "Hey, Jordan, congrats on joining company recently. Did you know that you have a learning and development stipend of X? And did you also know that generally that learning and development stipend expires at the end of the year? We will work within whatever remaining budget you have left. And we probably know that you have a lot of it because you just started. And we will help you use that to help you achieve X or Y goal." So those are six examples of different plays that you can run inside of my system, and to give you an idea about how I think about structuring the world as problem first. And then if you can structure the problem, the messaging comes for free. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. And if you have any particularly interesting questions you would like of your market, drop it in the comments below and I'll respond with some ideas. Thank you so much for investing time to watch this content. I am so grateful to hear from folks, and I can't tell you how much it warms my heart when I get these lovely connection requests of people that watch my videos. Thank you, is all I can say. Have a great day.